Okay, so body language. Eye contact being a really important way that we often determine whether we trust someone. So if someone looks you in the eye and they seem warm and receptive, we tend to trust them in Western cultures. There are definitely certain cultures. I know, for instance, I was teaching in New Mexico, and there were quite a few Navajo students. And in the Navajo culture, too much direct eye contact is considered disrespectful. So it's a culturally based value, having direct eye contact, but I would say in general in the Western cultures, we do tend to trust people more who are open, who have a firm handshake, who seem are dressed a certain way, they carry themselves a certain way, they're not fidgeting too much. We make a lot of quick judgments of a person just on body language and tone of voice, and um, that help to form this opinion of whether we trust someone or not. But there is something else you can do, and it's called decorum. And he brings it up in this chapter and expands on it later. But the idea that when a person is able to suit their behavior to the occasion and the demands of the occasion, then we tend to trust that person. So, for instance, if I am a teacher and I'm walking into the classroom the first day and I'm dressed the way a teacher dresses, I carry myself, I use the words that a teacher would use. I begin the class by talking about the syllabus. If I do all of the things that's expected of me in that role, people will tend to trust you. If I undermine that, if let's say I come in the first day of class and I'm wearing pajamas and and I seem like I'm slurring my words and I must be like drunk, or then of course you would be like, oh, why am I here? Why am I in this class? So um, suiting the behavior and fitting in. Decorum, another word for that is just simply fitting in, and fitting in the way your audience expects you to act. It's not necessarily the way you want to act or behave, but it's understanding what the occasion demands for how you to act. Um, so it's really understanding where the psyche of your audience and trying to work with that. Um, Another example I was thinking of is, let's say you're a person who's working at a job. Let's say you're a young person. You just started working at a restaurant, and maybe you're like a busser. You're low on the totem pole, and you're just trying to get used to things, and you're new to the whole like workforce. And let's say suddenly someone doesn't show up for work, and you have to become the host or the hostess who seats people, and you have to carry yourself a certain way. Even if you don't necessarily know, how to do that particular job, but you're thrown into a position like that, if you have a certain image in your mind of that role that you're playing, and you meet the expectations of what let's say a customer walking into the restaurant expects when they walk into a restaurant. They expect the person to carry themselves a certain way. That alone, again, can establish that trust. And at the same time, consequently, a young person learning how to work at a restaurant might suddenly actually gain the confidence to take on that job and maybe even move up the totem pole and become the host or hostess sooner than you think. So ethos or character or trustworthiness is often having a good sense of the way that one is expected to act in certain situations. And even it comes down to language. If I'm walking into, let's say, a kindergarten, and I'm talking to a group of kindergartners, but I speak in elevated language of academia, and I start throwing out jargon words like the teleological essence of the establishment is something that we must ponder. Whatever, like if I start using words that no one in the classroom is going to relate to, then the kids are going to look at me like, who are you and why should we listen to you? Or if, let's say, a medical doctor walks in and talks to a patient and tries to explain to them what is happening with their body, but again, they use language that the patient can't really follow or understand. Well, the patient might probably grow resentful